So today's topic is attachment. Attachment is a big problem because it leads to something awful, something people are very uncomfortable with. And the common wisdom in spiritual circles is to cultivate indifference or detachment. However, that is futile in my concept because detachment is the same movement as attachment. You're trying to detach from something, so you get attached to your detachment. Let's see why attachment happens in the first place. Attachment happens because one is identified with their limitations. Let's dig a little bit deeper into this statement. What does it mean? You see, some people remain naturally indifferent. They remain aloof. They don't show much attachment. They are busy with their work and whatever they are doing in that moment. And sometimes, we people wonder what is so special about those people. The thing is that people who get attached, they fundamentally believe in their limitations. They feel unwhole, unworthy. They feel that they need something externally to fix them. But let me make a small note here. It is not that attachment is bad. We are not exploring this from the angle of good or bad. We are just exploring, you and me, we are just exploring together how this mechanism is taking place. And the objective is not to come to any conclusion. The objective is just to observe, explore. So is attachment evil, bad? No, not at all. And attachment happens to most people. It's just that the degree varies. So it is not that there are some people who are completely detached. Even the sages are attached, but the degree of attachment is much lower in the sages as compared to an ordinary, quote unquote, ordinary man. So what happens when this attachment is strong? That is when it is the problem. See, for most people who are like householders, having children, family, relatives, some amount of attachment is natural. It is there. So that is perfectly normal. But when the attachment becomes compulsive or obsessive in nature, that is what we are talking about right now. Why does that happen? That happens because one is identified with one's limitation. I'm not perfect. Therefore, I need someone special in my life. It can be my guru. It can be my teacher. It can be my parent. It can be my spouse, my partner, girlfriend, boyfriend. Or it can be my children who bring me my sense of value, my sense of worth. Because without any of these external things, external people, I am worthless. My worth is low. So I start the whole movement in that direction. I find somebody, I set up this whole system, and I say, okay, now I have a family, I have a spouse, I have children. Now it should be okay. But is it okay? We find that it is not okay. We still struggle. We are still attached. We still don't feel enough. We're still compulsive in our nature. So we try to control. We become defensive. We are asking people close to us. We're trying to control them. We're asking, what are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you meeting? Why don't you, we try to alter their choices. Why don't you wear these clothes? These are better. Why don't you eat that type of food? It's much healthier for you. Why don't you do daily yoga or meditation? We try to enforce all these rules, thinking that we are caring for them, that somehow we are, fitting perfectly into this equation, into this dynamic between two people. A parent would think that they're doing their best to nurture the children, but they're just enforcing their own choices, their own fears onto the child. In fact, they are just training the child with their own pattern. But the parent derive their sense of value from their children. It's like, I am a parent, so, I have to do what is necessary. But we don't go and look into the nature of attachment that has happened here. This attachment is unconscious. While the natural attachment that we have for our family members, for our friends, for anybody in the world is conscious attachment. That means we allow them complete freedom, and we operate with trust, and there is a stability in the nervous system. We do not interact with them anxiously. Wherever there is anxiousness into the picture, the dynamic becomes unconscious. That means we are operating from that flight or fight response, which means we are driven by fear, which means we are driven by our limitations. Because when we believe in our limitations, we feel that that is where everything has to come from. So if I feel that I'm afraid of my loneliness, that my loneliness will kill me, then I will operate from fear, and I will try to cling on to people around me. I will show anxiousness. I won't let them go very far from me. I will keep a tab on them. I will keep a check on them. Sometimes, going to the extent of checking their smartphones or trying to figure out who they are meeting, because fundamentally there is this fear of abandonment. If they leave me, what will become of me? My whole value system collapses because it was built on this limitation. Now it collapses. So it makes us act compulsively. It makes us act in a corrupt way, as Jiddu Krishnamurti would say. So he says, what is corruption? At the root of corruption is the brokenness, is the fragmentation. That means I believe in my brokenness, in my fragmented life, that I'm unwhole, that I'm unworthy, I'm unlikable. My sense of self is derived from sources external to me. Then I keep trying to control the external environment. Let me fix this area of my life. Let me fix that area of my life. Only if I lose a little bit of weight, if I look more aesthetic, if I wear the right clothes, if I meet the right people, if I have the perfect family, perfect partner, perfect children, perfect parents, if all my relationship dynamics are perfect, then nobody will be disappointed in me. And then I can feel whole and complete. But you see, life is not this simple. So, fundamentally, where is attachment? The compulsive, the unconscious attachment, that's what we're talking about here. Where is that coming from? That is coming from in our belief of our limitations. That I am this puny mind-body organism which is separate from the rest of the world. Therefore, I need this, I need that to feel whole. And the ancient wisdom from Ramana Maharishi, hold on. I forgot to switch off put my phone on silent, so just a minute. So I forget my true nature. That is what the ancient wisdom says. The ancient wisdom, the ancient master says, your job is to be, not to be this or that. The problem is you're trying to be this or that. You're trying very hard. And you're trying to fill that void, that emptiness within. You're so scared of it. You just want it, just don't want to face it. So, in trying to avoid the emptiness, you're just strengthening your belief in your limitation, which is driving this whole dynamic. The more you strengthen your belief, which can be not just at the conscious level, but also go deep into the unconscious. So when I believe in my limitations, what do? I act in compulsive ways. I try to get short bursts of pleasure, either through addictions, through substances, or through people, or through shopping, or it can be anything, gambling, or anything for that matter. So the whole idea is to take a look at yourself and go within for a moment and look at this emptiness. Look at this void. What is the dynamic that it is bringing out? We don't have to do anything other than simply watch this whole movement. If we watch this whole movement, we will see how the mind is tricking us into believing in our own limitations, and how that is causing separation, and how that separation is causing suffering in the form of attachment, because I'm clinging to substances, people, things, ideas, beliefs. I'm trying to hold everything together, and then I wonder, why am I so stressed? Because I'm holding too many things. I'm holding too many ideas in my mind. We do not just get attached to people. Sometimes we get attached to ideas. My religion is the best religion. My culture is the best culture. My country is the best country. We have this, we have that. My way of thinking is the best thinking. My ideology, my philosophy is the best. We can get attached to our ideas as well. And that is why I say whatever I'm saying is just a concept I'm giving you. Now it is up to you to see whether it works for you or not. I'm not saying that this is the absolute truth, what I'm talking about. So you see, the solution to attachment is not detachment. That is the mind. Again, the mind coming up and trying to avoid discomfort, avoid seeing the void, the emptiness within. So it comes up with a clever solution. Let me do practices that would make me detached. Let me sit for meditation. Let me sit in meditation for long hours. Let me try to detach myself from the person that is causing me trouble, where these unconscious patterns are coming out. Let me do this, let me do that. So it is all immersed in doership, which is the idea that we are the doers, and it is tied up to an outcome, that this is my preferred outcome. There is this imagination that once I am detached, somehow everything will be smooth and happy and I will feel whole. But that again is an idea that is worth looking at. Is it really solid? Does it really hold ground, or is it just a concept in the mind? Even if I'm detached, I may get attached to something else, or I may just start experiencing more and more loneliness as a result of that detachment. Then what do? Then I'm all by myself. And when I get detached to everyone else, I still have me. What do I do about this me? Where do I take this me? This me is fascinating fascinating, arising. It's a beautiful phenomenon. Now, it is there for a purpose. It allows us to have this beautiful interaction, communication. Now, we may label it in many different ways. We may call it good, bad, ugly, toxic, productive, unproductive, healthy, unhealthy. Those are just our ideas based on whatever state we are in a given moment. The whole idea is that if your nervous system is constantly agitated, that is deep down, very strong identification with the separate self or belief in your own limitations. Same thing. Once you take a look at this limitation and see if it is really there or not, then the whole thing starts changing. Just through observation, insights begin to happen. It can be sudden or it can happen gradually. But insights do happen. And it shows you the nature of attachment. It shows you how this compulsive attachment causes corruption, where sometimes people get so obsessed that they commit crimes of obsession. They completely lose themselves. They lose all stability. As a result, lives are ruined. Lives are lost. And so many people get impacted. There are people in positions of power who take decisions when they are in this fight or flight mode. And just imagine what that one decision leads to. Because when one is attached to their position, to their status, to their power, they want to hold on to it. What if this gets lost? My whole identity, which I've built over the years, will get lost. I was designed to do this. So I must hold on to it. Therefore, there is again that very strong identification with one's limitation. Because that is a very limited aspect of your existence. Your work, your roles. There are so many roles we play. Family, worker, child, parent, so many roles we play. So it's just one of the roles. Work is just one of the roles. So getting attached, overly identified with work, with business, with job, with positions, again has the same effect. So when we see totally the nature of this attachment, and when we get the courage to face our emptiness, face this void within which we avoid all the time, it is then that we get past it and experience the vastness of our existence. And it is in the vastness, in the recognition or the realization of the vastness, that we experience true liberation. Otherwise, any freedom that you have attained is not the real freedom. You may think that you are financially free, stable, that you are stable, free from attachments, but that is just a facade. True freedom is not to be attained. True freedom is to be recognized. Our own essence is free. This is the message of Ashtavakra Gita. One of the very powerful Advaita texts that I'm covering. So, solution to attachment is not detachment, because attachment is not a problem. It is a happening. It needs to be seen as a happening, not as a problem. Because the moment you try to see attachment as a problem, you have already filtered your vision. You have narrowed it through your own conditioning. So there is never going to be any fulfillment or any understanding that gets you past attachment. If you get overly identified with the idea of detachment through yoga and meditation or any other practice, you will notice that for a temporary period of time, you may feel that you're detached, but again, something may happen and you may fall into the same pattern again and again. You're not to fight your patterns, you're not to change your patterns, you just need to watch. You need to see in totality what these patterns are bringing about and let the understanding happen, because that understanding is impersonal understanding. And impersonal understanding, please listen to this very, very carefully. Impersonal understanding gets into your core. It does not get into your conscious mind. What gets into your core is permanent. Your core is your being. What gets into your mind is temporary. It's divisive because mind by nature is dualistic. It's going to create the opposite immediately. So it will say, oh, attachment, you're attached to this person, stop talking to them, cut off, and you will be detached. But then next time you notice you get attached to something else. Or for worse, you get attached to the idea of detachment and you get obsessed with detachment. You see how this whole dynamic is playing out. You don't need to do anything other than be. And in that being, you're going to get a wealth of knowledge. A knowledge that is complete. A knowledge that goes deep. Instead of just running after temporary solutions or trying to address the solution to a perceived problem externally, go within and look into your own limitation. It requires courage. It is very tough. Because when you go within and look what is arising within your own self, you will notice every movement. In that noticing, in that seeing, which is free from all judgments, which is free from all filtration, it is pure seeing. In that, the true knowledge arises, the true insight arises, which gets into your core. That is the permanent change. That is the non-attachment the scriptures talk about.